Let's take a look at Jocelyn Aloe's swing. I'm going to draw a box around her head so you'll see that it stays in that general area for the entirety of her swing. As she lifts her leg to stride, she's coiling into that back hip, but staying balanced and not falling over. As she begins to stride forward, you'll see that back elbow work its way behind her body. Front foot comes down and plants, which starts the rotation. At contact, you'll see her head, eyes, back elbow, back hip, and back knee all in alignment, and her hands over the ball. Notice how she doesn't straighten her arms until well after contact. So she hit with a bent back elbow, and then when she straightens that extension here, then she lets her hands roll over and follow through over her shoulder. Notice her front knee is not bent, and her weight is still over the center of her body and slightly back. Hi Violet, Coach Elisa here. Let's have a look at what's going on with your swings. All right, so first thing I see is got a lot of nervous, anxious energy going on. So looks like kind of a scary place to be for you in the batter's box. That was your first swing off the pitching machine, probably ever, right? So you definitely were, stepping away from the ball. And so the first thing we need to work on is just getting you a little more comfortable, a little more relaxed, a little more confident in there. It looks like that second one, you got a little bit of bat sting there on your hands. So that could be caused by your grip. Also, it was a cold day, so that can have an impact as well. But what I'm seeing with your swings is you're not really rotating the hip until well after contact. So it's all arms to begin with. And it looks like you're trying to straighten the bat to make contact, so you're getting both arms straight. So one thing when we hit is we hit with a bent back elbow. The front arm isn't fully locked out, but it's close to straight. There's a little bit slight bend in it. But part of the problem here is your hands are just kind of dropping down and you're trying to meet the ball. So your eyes aren't the issue. Like I feel like you're seeing the ball and you're able to make contact, especially when you're turning and putting the bat out for a bunt. So I think that your body is just out of sequence. Like the things are happening at the wrong time. Your swing is starting with your hands, and your hands should be the last thing to go. Okay, and the step is happening, the stride is happening after your hands start, and then when you're already starting your swing, your foot's still in the air. So when we load, the first thing that happens is we lift the foot and load, then we stride, and that front foot has to land before we even start rotating our hips, and then even our hands come after that. So you're kind of just all out of order. And I like that it looks like you're putting those cues that you've gotten from us together and you're trying to work it out. But I think you just need to gain an understanding of sequencing what happens first and then what happens down the chain. And the same thing that I see with your bunts, when you turn to bunt, you're not fully rotating your hip and turning until too late. So you got to get that rotation to happen first before you put that bat out there. And you need to have a firm top hand so that the ball doesn't get the best of you and the bat comes back and hits you in the face. So you have to provide a little bit of resistance, but give. Kind of like catching an egg or catching keys. Like you want to be able to catch it, but you don't want to just be a firm wall where it hits and it hurts. So you have to give a little bit. All right, so let's look at this in slow motion here. Okay, so first thing I'm seeing, look, the hands are starting, the foot's in the air, and you're stepping away from the ball and trying to straighten the bat to make contact. So obviously this was your first swing, and it was a little scary. So, but what I love is you get back in there and you do a better job on the second swing. But again, here, hands, and then step happens after you've already started. Look, now your hip hasn't even actually fully rotated. See, the laces of your back foot should be facing the pitcher. All right, hands are going, foot's in the air, you're already swinging, right? And that back foot is just now starting, and it didn't even fully rotate around. So you're just kind of turning your waist, and that back hip's not even rotating. Your bat position is, it's not in the proper, so you can see the knob of the bat is facing down to the ground and a little bit forward toward the pitcher. So what we actually want to have happen when we load is we want that knob of the bat underneath your hands there to be facing the catcher's helmet. So you've got to pull that elbow back, get that bat behind your head, behind your ear. Oh, see that bunt right there? That bat almost came back and hit you in the head because you lost it with your top hand. So that's just getting a more firm top hand will help you there. All right, so kind of trying to work it out, but our foot's in the air when we're already swinging, and we're just straightening the bat and just trying to hurl it around in a circle, right? So there's a lot of things we need to change and work out, and it's all going to start with first, we've got to get you to understand what you do with your feet. Okay, so that's step one because you need to be able to use ground force when you swing. And if your foot's up in the air, you're essentially swinging on your back leg. You don't have, any balance or stability. Right? See that one too. Like your back hip's just not even rotating really. It's just a tiny bit, but it's not fully rotating. I love the fact that you want to get out there and bunt. This was decent, but you just got into position a little bit late and just a firmer top hand and get that bat closer to the level of your eyes, and you could be really successful on that. Again, it just seems like a lot of nervous energy, just improper sequencing. Look, you definitely saw where that ball was and you wanted to hit it. Uh, so I think if we can pull together your mechanics and get you doing things in the right order, you're going to have a much higher chance of success. And obviously you can't keep your head still in there where it needs to be because you're so forcefully rotating around your waist that it's just pulling your head out of there. That just, yep, bend the knees a little bit more on that one.